I will start off by saying hello to everyone. Thank you for those that are here. And I just wanted to give a couple of I just want to say a couple things. One thing is this: I'm glad you had an opportunity to join the meeting, and I would certainly invite you to ask other people who are entrepreneurs or that want to become entrepreneurs to join. Because what we're going to be doing, we're going to be taking some components of a business plan, tearing it apart, teaching and sharing with you so that you can be prepared to, one, have a well-written, thought-out plan so that you can go forth and become successful, and then two, if you need grant or funding from a bank, you will be bank ready. And I must start off by telling you this. Here's my disclaimer. We're sharing information with you. We are not making any guarantees. You hold us harmless from anything that you think didn't work or anything like that, because we are not guaranteeing anything. The only guarantee I can tell you is that if you work hard, if you work your plan and you do your part, you will see the results. And if you don't see the results, keep doing your part so that you can see them. But I just wanted to jump on. I'm out of town at a funeral. I came for a funeral, and I will be back in town next week. But I did not want this to go to start without me at least jumping on saying hello. You see, I'm in the car. I left some food cooking in the kitchen, and my aunt is watching it for me. But I appreciate everybody taking the time to get out here and do their part, and I'm just thankful for you all. Thankful for you all. This is a very sensitive time for a lot of reasons. And with this being a sensitive time, with us being leaders, we would not be the type of leaders that we need to be if we did not acknowledge that this is a sensitive time. And I am sorry that we're all hurting for whatever reason we're hurting. I know why a lot of us are hurting. I've cried for 3 or 4 days. But what I will tell you is that this is definitely a time to move forward. This is a time to get ready so that you are ready, because I do believe that we can come out of this and thrive in this adversity, and we can come out ahead. We can come out ahead. So again, thank you guys for joining.
Welcome to the B Project. I am Barbara Carr, and I am on behalf of Angela Rice today giving an introduction for what this project is going to look like and what you can expect to receive from it. I have with me on the call today some of the awesome speakers who are going to be participating in this project, and later they will also have an opportunity to share some stuff with you. So the first thing I want to mention is that this B Project goes all the way through into September. So from June into September. It's every week. It's on Thursdays at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. So if any of you are watching and you're not in Central Time, keep in mind that our time is Central. And so when you see times, it's for our time zone. So 6 p.m. every Thursday. The calls are only meant to be about an hour to an hour and 15 minutes. Each speaker will have about an hour to speak, and then there'll be about 15 minutes for questions. The benefit of being on the Zoom call as an attendee is that you get to ask questions of the speaker. So if you have a burning question, or if you are one of those people who just want to soak everything in and be a sponge, being on the Zoom call will give you the best advantage. Because if you would just watch it later, then if you have a question, you'll have to ask it as a comment, and it may or may not be able to be immediately answered, and you may not get to get answered in a way where you see the speaker's body language or the tone or anything like that. So I really encourage everybody to be here as an attendee in the Zoom meetings. It's the same Zoom link every meeting. You only have to register once in order to attend all of these awesome classes. And there's a lot of great experts that are participating in this program. Angela has brought together an awesome team, and you guys want to know the stuff that she's sharing, because I have a little list here, a little teaser list, excuse me, and I'm going to just grab it for a moment because I want to give you some of the topics that we're going to be talking about here. But actually next week, Angela will be starting to talk about business planning. And the great thing about what Angela will teach next week with business planning is that it is the beginning of all of what you'll do in this group. Excuse me, I'm just trying to position where I could see both the PowerPoint and you guys on two different screens. So when Angela starts talking about business planning next week, everything that is taught after that can and should go into your business plan. So you'll get a jump start on what a business plan even is next week, if you need one, how to start one, all the important things that you could put in there. And then every single week, another speaker is going to come on here to teach you another part of that business plan so that you can, at the end of this B project in September, you'll have created a business plan. And so follow along as we go so that you do the homework. If speakers give you homework, make sure that you do it. After business planning, then we have an attorney talking about legalizing your business, because I know that one of the worst things that we can do in our business is to set it up for failure. And if you're not setting it up properly, you're pretty much setting it up for failure. So we have Justin Camper, who will be teaching about legalizing your business and all of the legal aspects that you should know as a business owner, because we're not usually taught those things in school. And so it's really great to have somebody to ask those questions of, is it okay for me to do X, Y, and Z? And find out those questions before you've already done it, and then you need help getting bailed out of it. And then from there, we go on to location and real estate. Is it right? Is it right for you right now to have a brick and mortar? Should you have a business location that has a physical address? Or do you work out of your home? How do you know when it's time to have a place that you're paying rent or a mortgage on? And we'll talk about a lot of those different things in that third week. And as we move forward, then we have, and excuse me, you guys, I don't know every speaker that's attached to these topics. I've only met a handful of them so far, but the ones I do know, I'm going to mention to you if I know who's teaching it. So if you are a brand new business owner, or if you're just ready to take your business to the next level, whatever level that is, this B project is going to be great for you, because as you've heard, I've already talked about some really great topics. Then we move on to learning about insurance. And there's a lot of different insurances that you may or may not need as a business owner. Understanding which one's right for you and when to get them and how. And then we move on to technology, which is Antonio's expertise. And Antonio's on the call today. So at the end of the call, I'm going to give him an opportunity, as well as Justin, who's on the call as well, to speak about their sections. Antonio will be teaching a lot about technology, how to keep ourselves safe online, how to different types of technology that we can use in our business and how to use them effectively, and probably a lot of other things that I don't know, because that's not my area of expertise, but Antonio will tell us those things. And then after Antonio teaches you about technology, the week after that is my week, and that's when I will teach on marketing. I'm going to teach you about online marketing, offline marketing, relationship marketing, all kinds of different types of marketing. Marketing is my area of expertise, and it is what I really enjoy and what I excel in. So you'll get to hear me that week. And then after that is Avita's week, which is sales. And you guys may have noticed already that this is it's kind of step by step. Angela has set this up to where it goes like in order, right? You can't really make sales until you know what kind of technology you're going to use and what kind of marketing you're going to do, and then you make the sales. And so all of these go in order, and Angela has it set up really great. But Avita is going to teach us some things about how to get referrals and the importance of being honest and what competition means and the ease of doing business, getting it right the first time. So those are just some of the topics here on the outline, but I'm sure she has a lot more awesome topics to touch on. And again, I'll bring her on in just a moment as well. And then we'll move into service. We'll have somebody talk about the importance of service in business, customer service and different types of service, loyalty programs, how often you should be available for your clients, and all of those different areas. And then we move on to human resources. When it comes time to hiring and firing and recruiting and giving people promotions and different pay and stuff like that, we'll have an HR expert come in and talk on a lot of areas there. Then we move on to payroll, which is an exciting and stressful topic for most businesses because we all like to get a paycheck, but it's typically stressful for us to crunch those numbers to determine if and when we can receive one. So our payroll expert will be here talking about payroll schedule, the Department of Labor, having an employee handbook, setting up stuff for taxes, all that good stuff. Then we move into commercial banking. So if you should have commercial banking, and I believe that this is also where they'll touch on loans for businesses and investment banking and how to know which bank to use and how to know if you qualify for these types of accounts. And then at the end of all of this, Angela brings it all back together and helps you to see that you've created your business plan during this process. So I strongly encourage that as we go through this, that you are attending live and in person on these Zoom calls and that you're doing the things that you learn. Implement what you learn from each speaker. You have a whole week before the next speaker comes, so take time to implement what you've learned so that you don't get behind. All right, so that's our outline for the next several months of the B project. Karl, if you could unmute yourself, please. I would like you to introduce yourself to the group. There you go.
Hi, my name's Karl Rayford. I am a resident of Gary, Indiana. I have, from a career standpoint, I have been a radio personality for a little over 30 years. I've done gospel radio for at least, I would say 30 of those years. And then I've just gone into doing old school hip hop and R&B. I have my own show that I am actually, the reason I am even on this call is because I am at the point where I'm ready to launch my own internet radio station. And in order for it to be successful and done properly, I need this course. And so I am excited to learn from all of you, and I'm excited to learn everything that I can and to implement what I've learned.
Oh, that's fantastic to hear, Karl. Thank you for being on here. How did you hear about the B Project? Who's your connection here?
Angela.
Okay, Angela's fantastic, isn't she?
She is amazing. I call her my moral compass. She is absolutely fantastic.
You know, I could totally see that. I could see Angela being a moral compass. She's so amazing. It's great to have you here, Karl. Thank you. And congratulations on taking that next step in your business.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, so at this time, I want to give those of the people who we have on the call who are speakers, I want to give them a chance to give a little spotlight of what their week will be about, give you guys kind of like a teaser, because I know I did not do justice for everybody else's section. I probably lit up on my own section because that's what excites me, but I want to give the speakers who are on the call the opportunity to do that as well. So Antonio, why don't you tell us about the technology week? What can we expect?
First of all, I want to say thank you to everyone who's listening, those who are watching the replay on the recording. Thank you for being a part of this incredible project. We thank Angela Rice for all that she's done. Barbara, thank you for stepping in today as well. My name is Antonio Golston. I'm with 𝐀𝐁𝐎𝐔𝐓 Technology Consultants. We've been in the technology sector for over 25 years. I know I only look 21. Don't ask me how it happened. I don't really know. But nevertheless, I'm excited to be a part of this because I believe strongly that with any business, you have to have, you should have a good attorney, number one, a good accountant and a good attorney, but also you need a good technology person. And what we bring to the table is we want to be your technology partner. I love to work with companies who are just starting and grow and scale with you, because see, our job is to take the frustration out of technology. It's great. Technology is great, but if you know how to use it, it can be very frustrating. And when you're frustrated, you just don't do anything. But we live in a society today where you have to have technology stay on the cutting edge to things you're doing, no matter what your business is. It doesn't matter if you're selling jewelry. It doesn't matter if you're, as the gentleman here, internet radio host, i.e. internet, you need to have great technology in place. So we're going to talk about some very basic fundamental things. And one of the number one things that you have to be very conscious of and put some investment in is your internet infrastructure. Everything now is going with video conferencing, things of that nature. I'm going to share some tips and some tricks to make sure that you constantly have great connection, because one of the things now, Mr. Carl can probably speak to this in his profession, is audio is so key. And if you have bad, people can excuse video being messed up, but if the audio is messed up, they'll disconnect from you. So there's some things with Zoom calls and things like this. You have to make sure that your microphone, things are good. But we're going to go through, we only have an hour. I wish I had more time, but we're going to throw as much at you as we possibly can within that hour to discuss how to start today. Here's the key point for me. I'll get back to Barbara. The key is, don't start with technology for where you are today, but where you want to go. And that's what a lot of people make mistakes at. They'll start where they think they are in their home office or in their car, wherever they're doing their office at. But you want to plan from day one where you want to be 20 years down the road when you have that multi-million-dollar corporation.
That's great advice, Antonio. Thank you so much. So you guys, Antonio's awesome. He knows his stuff. So when Technology Week comes, make sure that you are live here. See Antonio, the technology guy. He's letting me know when my.
I'm going to give you a tip during that time. I'm going to give you guys a tip about that.
All right. Thank you, Antonio. See, look at that. He's going to help us to not have these issues. All right. So I have a saying that I like to tell people that everything in life is really the same. You're going to get out of it exactly what you put into it. So if you are not showing up on these calls and then you're complaining that, it's not what you needed or expected, or you're not getting anything out of it, well, that's understanding, because you're not putting anything into it. You're not putting any time into it. You're not putting any effort into it. Well, you're not doing any homework. So make sure that you're showing up on the calls, asking questions. I'm so excited that Carl, that you're here today, because you had an opportunity to introduce yourself. This will be this is recorded and it will go out to people. So you just introduce yourself to lots of other people, not just who's on this call. So that's another perk about being on here, is that you get to put your face in front of others, not just the people who are here now, but the people who will watch it in the future. So show up, ask your questions, do the work. And like Antonio said with technology, don't just start with where you are now. I think that probably applies with a lot of things in life. Focus on that, where you're going. I love that tip, Antonio. I love that so much. I want to use it because it's true. It makes sense. Okay, so and then we also have Avita here, and Avita is our sales expert. Avita, are you able to unmute yourself and tell us a little bit about what we can expect that week?
Yeah, definitely. Thanks so much, Barbara. I apologize. I am not on camera. I thought I was just going to jump on and I wanted to hear everybody, but I wasn't prepared to be on camera. I have my 5 kids and I was cooking dinner. So number one, I am so excited to be here. I have about 15 years sales experience. I met Angela because I was a farmer's agency owner, and so was she. So that's how our relationship bloomed from there, and I love her. And Carl, I can totally relate with what you're saying. She's a great person. And so just a little bit about me. I was in sales with insurance. I've also done some other things. Right now, I'm still in insurance. I am an agent for a brokerage company out of Chicago. So that's what I'm doing right now. Basically, what I'm going to be talking about is some different things. Number one in all sales is building relationships. And I really feel like that's my strong point. I love people, and you really cannot be in sales if you do not love people. So I'm going to be talking about that. I'm going to talk about just how to build relationships, how to overcome rejections, how to lead with confidence in sales. And also, there's different type of sales. Obviously, insurance, that's an intangible, but also talking about the difference, tangible, intangible sales, and also just leading with honesty, integrity, and just winning the sales and different key factors in that, some tips. But I'm looking forward to it, and I look forward to next week. I will have my camera on every week after, and I look forward to meeting all you guys. So thanks so much, Barbara. You're doing a great job as well.
Thank you very much. All right. So now it is 6:35 right now, and I know that this call is, we were planning to go till about 7. I have a few other things Angela wanted me to address, so I'm going to do that. And even if you're not live on this call and you're watching the call, I encourage you to comment where this video is posted. Wherever you're watching this, post your answers to this question in the comments. And I'm going to open this up to if anybody who's on the call wants to answer it too. But Angela wanted me to ask, what are your pain points in business right now? Like, what is it that you really hope to get from this training? Because she wants to be able to make sure we address it, or at least give you a resource on where you can get what you need. So your biggest pain point in your business right now, what is, if you could only change one thing in your business and it will completely turn everything around, what is that one thing? Right? What is the thing that you need so much right now? Right? And post that in as the comments. And if anybody would like to answer that question who's on the call, you could either write it in the chat or you can unmute yourself and answer it. But I want to give you one more question to think about, and you can put these two questions together if you're on the call and you're going to answer it, okay? And the next question is, as a business owner, what is it that you had a pain point of in the past that you were able to overcome? And so we all have been through struggles in our lives and in our businesses, but what is one thing that you were able to overcome and that you're like, hey, if I could just give you this one tip on business, this is what you should know because this took me too long to figure out. So those are the two questions. If anybody wants to answer them on the call here, feel free to, but otherwise comment on the video and tell us what we can help you with.
If I could answer, I think for me, one of the things, the first thing that I would need to know as far as launching my internet station is all the legalities involved. Because radio involves a lot of different things such as licensing and whatnot, and all of those areas can be kind of murky. So I need to understand, you know, how to navigate legally through all of those things.
Okay, great. So the legal topic is week 3, I believe. So not next week, but the week after. Justin Camper is our teacher on that. And so make sure you're on that call. But Carl, of course, we want you on every call, but make sure that you definitely don't miss number 3, okay? Because that is directly what you need.
I will be here every week.
That sounds awesome. Okay, Antonio, you mentioned something in the chat. Would you like to share that?
Sure. The answer to, you know, my thing is, for me personally, is just scaling my business up. You know, I've done successful with a small group of people, but you know, I got to go beyond just a 1, 2, 3 person operation. I got to have a staff, and that's the biggest challenge that I've had, is getting good people to stick.
You know, it's great that you mentioned that, Antonio, because that's probably my biggest thing right now too, is I have a small team. I'd like a bigger team, but I feel like the more my team grows too fast, sometimes I'm grabbing people who aren't quite reliable or at the quality that I want, and I want to get out of the sense of desperation of just having anybody help, right? I want to have quality teammates.
Oh, absolutely.
And it is hard to find sometimes these days, right? Like people who really love what they're doing and want to do this work, especially when technology is included. Mine is marketing, obviously, so we use a lot of technology in marketing. But yeah, I don't know if that's something that's touched on in this project yet. I sure hope it is. But if it's not, hopefully Angela has a resource that can help us. And then, so I want to mention too that one of the other questions that we had asked earlier is, what is something that you struggled with early on that you would give somebody the tip on if you could right now? So I want to answer that question, and I'll of course answer that up to you, open to you guys too, if you would like. But one of the things that I struggled with was believing in myself enough. It took me a long time to see myself the way that my clients saw me and the way the rest of the world saw me. For everybody acted like I was like this great superhero that did all the, and I just couldn't understand it. And even early on, I didn't start my business right away because I didn't think I could. It took me many years before I finally jumped in and started it. And I didn't start it on my own. It was a push from God. I had to go on bed rest for 10 months with a bad pregnancy. That's when I started working on my own. And I feel like at first it felt like it was like the most devastating thing that could have happened to me. But it ended up being my blessing in disguise. It was God's way of telling me that, I have a plan for you and you're not listening, so I'm going to force you into it. And so my advice would be to start soon. You don't have to quit your job to be able to jump into business if you're not able to, but don't hesitate. If you've been given a mission and you have a calling and there's something on your heart that you need to give to the world, that you have this God-given talent, I encourage you to start soon. Don't hesitate and believe in yourself. Allow yourself to see you in the eyes of everybody around you. That was the thing that I struggled with the most.
Believe in the belief of someone else until you can believe in the belief of yourself.
Hey, that's good.
Like
and Tony's got a lot of good one-liners.
As Angela, as two people have already said, Angela's a great resource. Sometimes you have to believe in that belief of other people who believe in you, and just ride their belief sometimes until you can get that confidence for yourself.
Awesome. Did anybody else have anything they wanted to share about something they struggled with and advice they can give? I know that's a loaded question, huh?
I'm trying to see which one.
Yeah.
Which one of the which one? I will say this, and it goes back to what I just said a moment ago, and I'm working through it. I'll say that I'm working. I have not necessarily reached that end game yet, but I'm working towards that now. So it goes back to what I said just a moment ago about being a one-person show, or whatever the case may be. For so long, I've tried to do it all because I expected everybody to be me. I expected that, if people that have the same level of energy, the same level of expertise, or whatever the case may be, that I had. So I wanted everybody to be me. And I remember talking just recently, within the last year, to a mentor of mine, and I said that. I said, I have a scalability problem. Consistency problem. He said, no, you don't. You have a hiring problem. I'm like, what do you mean? So you have a hiring problem. You're trying to you're hiring people for the wrong positions. You got to find the right people to do the right thing. And they may not always look like you in personality and type and all that stuff. And that really, really freed me up. He gave me some tools and things. So then all of a sudden, kind of Corona kind of hit, and I was getting ready to hire all these people, and all of a sudden all that stopped. So that's why I said I'm moving towards that right now. So now that the country's opening it back up, we're starting the process of getting people and put them in the right positions to fill those gaps that I may not be as strong in. So I'm excited about that, just over the next couple of months, to start putting people in the right places.
That's awesome. I like that, Antonio. One of my friends always talks about a book. I haven't read it yet, but it's something like getting the right people on the bus and in the right seats or something like that. And I think, that's total. I could get that because, looking back now, I'm thinking that might have been my problem too.
Yeah, it really is. It gave me I'm sure at some point we can talk about it, but basically gave me this type of certain test. Like, everybody takes this test before you hire them, because that's going to really show you, it's a lot of the character traits and some things. And if they line up with where you want to put them at, great. If they don't, put them somewhere else. I mean, they don't mean you don't hire them, just put them somewhere else. So put them in the right spots to make sure they can be successful and your company can be successful.
Right. It becomes a win-win. They're happy. Your company does well. Right. Good.
So that's what I'm excited about.
Thank you for sharing that, Antonio. All right. So if you're watching this as a recording, I encourage you to comment below and tell us, answer those two questions. The first one was, what is your pain point right now? Or your pain points. If you feel like you have multiple, just let them out, spew all over us. But ideally, if you could tell us your biggest pain point and allow us to help either make sure you get that in this training or guide you to where you can go for that pain point. And then the second question that we want you to answer is, what is something that you've struggled with during your time as a business owner and that you were able to overcome, and what advice can you give to other business owners because of your success in overcoming that? All right, so we're coming to, that's all of what Angela wanted me to touch on today. So before I jump off, is there anything that anybody else is hoping to say or wanting to say? Any last words? No? Awesome. Well, thank you guys for being on here. Thank you, everybody, for watching. And thank you so much, Angela, for having this vision and getting us all together. Help support by being part of the Facebook group, the B Project, and communicating in there, connect with one another, and then watch these recordings and participate. We'll hope to see you guys all next week when Angela will start the conversation on business planning.